This is about the coaching points of the jump shot in basketball. Teaching points such as the ones on the screen are important to ensure that the shot is played correctly but also safely. The shot is broken down into 4 main points that is easy to analyse where there are weaknesses in the athlete's shot, allowing some improvements to be made specifically to each position that they move into. The jump shot can be used further away from the basket, as in a player can take a shot down the court, because this shot has much more power behind it from the vertical jump that the player does whilst releasing the ball. Players use this skill to try and score against the opposing team, scoring them more points and giving them advantages to the match. The preparation phase is the very first phase to the jump shot in basketball. This is where the athlete sets themselves up to receive the pass from one of their teammates. This phase is where they begin to think about how they are going to position themselves, and they prepare by changing their posture, and they must find their balance to receive the ball. Their footwork and placement must change to allow them to coordinate enough power to jump. Teaching point 1 links to the preparation phase because it starts from when the ball has been received. From this point, the player should begin to prepare to do the vertical jump upwards whilst holding the ball. According to awyo.co.uk, their knees should be relaxed, but they should have a sturdy position on the floor to hold their ground against any defenders trying to block the athlete from shooting. This first coaching point is important because it is a setup to achieve a well-balanced shot, allowing good coordination to release the ball at the correct time. One hand should face the ball and one should turn one to the side, turned with the palm to the other hand. One foot should also be slightly in front of the other to maintain balance when you jump up off the ground. One of the most important parts to focus on within this coaching point is maintaining focus on the basket. If you do this, your jump shot is more likely to be successful. The second teaching point comes under the execution phase. The execution phase is where the skill is performed. It determines whether your skill is going to be successful or not, because this is the part where the most action occurs. This phase follows the preparation phase because the player now starts to move into the shooting position, such as changing their hand position. The execution phase can be taught through teaching point 2, which is about coordinating the throw so that the ball goes into the net. This point of the shot is important because if the ball doesn't go into the net, the player needs to act quickly so that they can collect the rebound and try again. As the player jumps, their back foot should move in line with the other, as this will give the athlete more power. The next part to this coaching point of the technical model is the actual throw. When the hands set up correctly from the first point, the actual throw's power comes more from the power of the jump. Within the jump, the ankles, hips and knees should all be extended to their fullest. This extension gives more strength to the shot. Then, when at the highest point of the jump, it is time to release the ball from the hands. Coaching point 3 is also part of the execution phase because it is all about the release of the ball. At this part of the shot, the player aims to execute their shot accurately and also successfully. They will want to do this phase accurately because it will determine the success of their shot and whether or not it gets into the basket. To make sure that the player succeeds in the execution phase, they should follow coaching points. At the highest point of the jump, the ball should be released in the air and into the hoop. The elbow should be in the position of a C. It should not be a sharp angle such as a V shape. The C shape stops the ball from being overthrown, which would stop it going into the net. The C shape also gives more power to the throw. After this comes the extension of the arm. The arm should extend so the elbow is in line with the eyebrow. This again gives enough power for the athlete to be able to flick the ball into the net. The guide hand, which is the one facing palm inwards, shouldn't really touch the ball. It should only guide the ball on the outside to make you feel more supported if the ball was to roll off the main shooting hand. The last part of the jump shot is the recovery phase. This phase is where the player collects themselves after the jump so that they are on the ball to react to any changes within the game, such as a rebound. The recovery phase should be structured so that the player has time to follow through their execution of the shot with no issues. For the recovery phase to be successful, we can detail how it should be done correctly with the 4th coaching point, which is also the last, as it was all about how you finish the shot and your body's composition when landing. According to wire.co.uk, after the shot has taken place, the player should land firmly on both legs with their feet shoulder width apart. Another important coaching point for this part of the shot is that the knees should be slightly bent, which will allow the athlete to tip forward slightly, regaining their centre of gravity. This composure will allow the athlete to surge forward if a rebound comes off the shot. The athlete's feet and their index and middle finger should all be pointing towards the basket even when contact is made with the ground.